Welcome to We Are Soccer, the greatest soccer show this side of the internet. Thank you for joining. We very much appreciate it because without you guys, this is just three dudes sitting in a room talking soccer. But thank you for joining. We appreciate it. Be sure to jump in the comments. Let us know any questions you have. Let us know any thoughts. Let us know if what we're talking is complete shit. We'd appreciate it. We like to have a little fun. We'll respond back and we'll answer questions as they come up. Lots to get to today. Lots and lots to get to today. U.S. men's national team. No EPL as we know, but we'll talk a little bit of England national team, Germany national team. We'll talk the Nations League and everything that's going on. We've got some local players to talk about, some local clubs to talk about. We may even sneak in a little bit of welcome to Wrexham. Before we jump in, I want to say a big thank you to some folks who helped make this a possibility. Thank you, Soccer World. We get all of our soccer gear from Soccer World. If you were in the Metro Detroit area, please visit one of their 3 Metro Detroit locations or visit them at soccerworld.net. We would appreciate it. Tell them that the boys at We Are Soccer sent you. Also, another helpful contributor to our show, Aaron Bird and Next Level Training. We are big fans of theirs. They are some of the best trainers in the country. We've got Aaron Bird, Ronaldo, Scotty Wright, Dylan, and they've got some others that help them along. It is awesome. They are great. Please, if you're in the Metro area and you're looking for training, hit them up. All right, now why don't we say hello to the boys at the kids' table. Nate, Brooks, how are we doing? How's the weekend going?
Hola, amigos. ¿Cómo estás? Oh, it's good. We're going to talk some fun soccer today. We'll have, some fun on the show tonight. My weekend was good. It was full of all the youth games you could ever want to watch and everything else, so it'll be fun.
Nate?
Oh, mine was fine until Brooks started speaking Spanish. Now I'm not understanding why he did that in any way, shape, form, or why that was even necessary.
Everything is necessary, Nate.
Nope.
No. Well, he's appealing to our Mexican Spanish audience, I guess.
Do we have one of those? Can we get one of those? How do we get one of those?
We are soccer in Spanish. We have to appeal to everyone here.
So the hello is in Spanish and the rest
yes.
will be in English.
I don't know a single thing in Spanish, so I actually don't know what he said for the intro there. So maybe we should have rehearsed that a little bit more.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
All right, well, let's jump in. Big news from this past week is U.S. men's national team played Japan in Dusseldorf, Germany.
World's largest bar.
Say again?
World's largest bar.
World's largest park?
Bar.
Like stadium
bar?
Did not know that.
Like drinking bar.
Oh, did not know that.
No, just so you know. That's what they call it there.
You thought Tottenham or someone went out.
Just what they call it there. Just what I was told on the 4-hour trip from Stuttgart to Dusseldorf with my soccer team while we were drinking the whole way.
Ah.
All right.
I've been.
Very nice.
It's fun.
Nice. Yeah.
There's drinks.
Lots of drinks. Lots of drinks. All right, let's talk about the actual soccer game that happened. There wasn't very many people in the stands. You could hear a lot of the people, a lot of the players on the pitch talking. It kind of felt like the U.S. men's national team players had never talked before. They'd never met each other before. That first half was diabolical. They could not stop giving the ball away. Japan, organized, hardworking, pressed, and they forced the U.S. men's national team into a lot of turnovers. And I mean a lot of turnovers. That was probably one of the worst displays I've seen from a U.S. men's national team in a long time. Now, we were without a lot of starters. We know this. We know this is just a friendly. So Greg Berhalter and staff were probably trying some things. But we are 56 days away from the World Cup. 56. We lost 2-0 to Japan. Japan are good. I'm gonna put a pan over to Nate right now, as you see. He put his head down.
No, I'm not angry. I'm falling asleep.
I'm disappointed. I am disappointed in the lack of creativity.
Wake me when you're done.
I'm disappointed in the defensive just organizationally had. I'm disappointed in almost every single aspect of that game. I knew that was going to be a tough game. I was predicting a 1-1 draw, not a 2-0 defeat to the hands of Japan. Lots to talk about. Nate, let's wake you up.
Yep.
What? I know. There's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking, as they call it, about this game. But it's disappointing to see a team lose like that and put up a lack of effort.
It's a friendly. It's a glorified scrimmage that stupid people buy tickets to. It's meaningless. 60 days away from the biggest tournament of your life. It's a friendly.
Well, I would agree.
Friendly. Hey.
I'll agree with you.
You remember when France lost to the U.S. in a friendly like 2 weeks before they won the World Cup? You remember that?
You telling me they're going to go win the World Cup?
Yes. No, I think people put way too much stock in this. First thing, Japan's a good team. Get off the FIFA rankings because that's bullshit. And they are. We all know they are. Japan's a fantastic team that plays well-organized soccer. And you know what? In a group with Spain and in a group with Germany, I could see Japan actually getting out of that group just by playing well-organized soccer. They did last time around, so with Germany, and made them look a little silly. So this idea that it's Japan, it's not who are they? They're FIFA ranked. I don't care. They're a good team. Their players, a bunch of them play in Germany, all over the place. These are the marquee guys that nobody really talks about, but they get the job done. I don't think Aaron Long will start in the World Cup. I don't think De La Torre will be starting in the World Cup. I don't think Pulisic will be sitting on the bench. There's a lot of things that were going on. You have no idea.
Sam Vines won't start either.
Sam Vines actually did all right, but probably won't start. Yeah. There's a lot of... when you do a test match like this, there's a lot of situational things that you work on because that's what you're meant to do. It's not really going out and winning a friendly, and this was the old Bob Bradley, call up the same roster, we're playing a friendly, let's grind out a win. Never made any sense. Still doesn't. I don't take any stock in it. Now, could they, should they, would they maybe played better? Okay, sure. Am I worried? Nope. Wales lost. England lost. Germany lost. Spain lost. Want me to keep going?
What was it? I saw something like in 2003, the Americans played...
France lost.
Well, yeah. There's some stat someone put out, like when the Dutch didn't make the World Cup the one year and the U.S. played them in a friendly, they lost 2-0. And like they did okay in like 2002, in the World Cup. It wasn't the end of the world. So I don't know. I'm agree with Nate. People buy into this. We didn't do well in a friendly type of thing, and then they want to go all ape shit on Berhalter and everyone. Listen, did it show some things and some flaws? I think in Berhalter's system, I think it did. I've talked with some of my guys in the pro game, just we kind of discussed how the men's national team played and their thoughts on the system. And, a lot of them said, listen, if you're going to play a system like that where everyone knows what you're going to do, every time they're going to play you, they're going to do certain things to make sure your midfielders can't get the ball and nothing can be done. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to force guys to play through the middle and not try to play direct when lines are high, it's going to be very tough for your guys to then score goals and get the ball into the opponent's final third. So I think the biggest takeaway for me is it's a World Cup match. You got 3 games in your group, right? You got 3 games to get out of your group. And then, it's a single game elimination after that if you make it out of there. You have to adjust to the game to what it gives you. And that's what the World Cup is. This is not a club season. This is not UEFA Champions League with a home and away. This is something where it is a game. You're going to play 3 group matches. Then if you advance out of that, it's a single elimination. You need to adjust to what the team does. and you can't always play pretty soccer and win all the time. I think that's kind of what this, what I got out of this, to be honest
Who
with
was
you.
the commentators again in this game? I forgot. Was Tillman one of them?
I don't know. Was
Till-
Tillman?
So there was it. So that's who I heard. There was
Yeah.
a comment over to Tillman. They're like, "Oh, do you think the U.S. competition's game planning based on this, so they know how to beat them?" And he goes, "Absolutely." And I went, "And you just explained to everyone why you wouldn't want to throw everything at the wall because you're 60 days to a World Cup. Why give your competition and completely sell your hand 60 days prior?" I can tell you PFOC would have helped in that game, though, and I
Sure.
can tell you Tim Ream would have helped in that game.
Yeah,
So,
to be fair, yeah. I guess, your point that we talked about last week, he would have, yeah.
Yeah, definitely those players would help. But I will say, Nate, I will disagree with you slightly
how dare you?
because, yes, it is a glorified friendly. Absolutely. Do we expect to win it? No, I don't expect to win it. I don't give a shit about the result. What I do care about is how people play and how they go about this performance. I do not expect to see the back line giving the ball away every single time. We couldn't break that front line.
I don't think
we have a debate now. We have a debate now.
Well, I know I saw both of your guys' texts about this. I specifically, I didn't go and count, but in about a 5-minute span, we gave the ball away 4 times. Long and Zimmerman specifically tried to pass through the front line, gave the ball
You can
away,
fire away.
midfielder stepped in. Is that not giving the ball away?
I don't know.
Midfielder steps in, intercepts pass. I guess we have a different interpretation of giving the ball away because we could not stop giving the ball away. Zimmerman, that is the worst I have ever seen him play in a U.S. men's national team jersey. He gave the ball away twice in about 30 seconds. It blew my mind.
Is 88% a high percent? Is 88 out of 100 a high percent?
Absolutely.
Okay,
But
well,
you can't give the ball away.
That was his.
He
He made 88% of Zimmerman's passes were on target. 98 of 111. I'm
going to change my mind because is it a clearance or is it a pass? Because
passes, accurate passes,
long
accurate passes.
he was
Aaron Long.
for one of the goals, I believe.
No, he was not. That was Wilson
He's talking
McKennie.
about
That was
one.
McKennie passing to
Give the
nobody.
ball away. Or
He
Lucas
absolutely
Villarreal
passed to nobody.
Not creating enough space for him to break a line.
I
As a
think
team, we did give the ball away out of the
Yes.
back
We
line.
did. The midfielders.
the midfielders in the defensive third, I think, failed him.
Yes.
So our midfielders did not come back and get the ball and create enough.
And made
And
some
create space,
and
yeah.
they made some really bad passes.
Yes.
The first goal was strictly on McKennie's poor pass to
Yes.
literally nobody. Literally nobody.
I agree.
I
agree.
But and I do agree with you. I mean, I agree with you, and you do look at individual performances in friendlies. I look at that as an audition for players, not auditions for the team. And I will agree that there was some players out there that I looked at and say, yeah, I don't think even though with Aaron Long's past success, I don't think he did enough to warrant the start. De La Torre, I don't think definitely did not.
No, he won't start.
And you know what? Ferrero?
You should have scored that one goal. I mean, that's the thing.
There is no difference between Pifo's miss and that miss.
Sure.
So that debate is absolutely done now.
One was on the ground, wide open, and one was in the air.
His I think was easier to shoot in.
Yeah.
So, and I also think you need to pull if you are going to be without Yunus Musa.
Oh, he's everything in that midfield.
If you're without him, I think you need to pull Reyna back there.
Yeah.
To help, or with a Pulisic coming off the bench somewhere there. I also don't view Dest as a very good defender.
Yeah.
I think he's great going forward, but
yeah, there's a lot of
chatter
Yep.
now saying what's going on. He's great going forward.
Yeah.
It's great to have him on the field going forward, but coming back.
Yeah.
He's like one of these new breed defenders, right? Can't defend to save his life, but going forward he's pretty good.
I also
We
question,
need good defenders.
Yeah.
and I also question. Now Turner had some good saves. But going back on that first goal, and I sent you guys this picture. It didn't.
Was it offside?
No, the one that was onside.
Yes, well, it's onside. Yes, the one that everyone thought
right.
was offside.
That player was grossly open. There was
Absolutely.
3 defenders standing on one player, and not one of them slid. And to me, that is a communication breakdown. And to me, and maybe some goalkeepers will throw some things at me, but it's everything I know from playing defense. Usually, your goalkeeper's calling that out, and it looked like Turner was honed in on ball, and he didn't scan the field and see the right.
I think I'll agree with that, but also whoever was at back,
that was Dest.
That was Dest.
Dest, but hold on, with how, but he was trying to get back. He was trying to get back.
And no one covered. So
yeah, because
he was pushed so high.
Yeah.
Both defenders went to the ball as well.
But again,
both defenders and your defensive mid.
Right.
Nobody slid.
But again, Del Torre doesn't step in to go back, but he doesn't move far enough into the right back position to draw the Japanese player out so Zimmer could break that line.
And in fairness, McKennie turned that ball over so quickly.
He did. It was terrible.
There's no way Dest is getting back. It's just impossible.
So like I said at the beginning of the segment, it's almost like our players have never met. They've never communicated with each other.
It was bad.
Were they asked to play something fairly different?
Maybe.
Were midfielders asked to play higher on the field?
Maybe.
Obviously, the defenders were asked to play out of the back and not just clear. But why were our midfielders asked to play so high? Why were they not tracking back as well? Greg Berhalter right now has some stuff to work on if he's got to put this team in the right frame of mind.
A couple quick comments and right to Brooks there. Kurt came in with, oh my God, sloppiest ball passing I ever seen from the back area. By the way, he just got back from Dublin, Ohio, which is honestly, I love Dublin, Ohio, so I'm a little bit jealous. I go, it's right, it's a beautiful area. I love it. Steve said, nice Timbers hat, PTFC, hashtag don't know what that means. Fill me in.
Portland Timbers football.
Yeah, I guess. And then Luigi here, death, taxes, and Italy beating England, which we'll probably get to that later.
Yeah, we're going to get to that shortly.
Yes.
Italy
So,
beating England.
my comment. Did you guys listen to the game with the volume on and hear? I mean, there was no fans there, by the way. There was no noise.
Hold on. There was some Japanese fans having a party. Did you see the ones dressed up like Mario and Luigi?
Yeah.
Those guys were awesome.
Yes. But did you hear just Greg Berhalter yelling and just barking out orders left and right? Did you hear that? Did you guys hear that?
I did not.
Okay, I heard that
anything from Berhalter, to be honest.
interesting because
I didn't have the sound on very loud.
Okay.
To be admitted.
Okay. You should not have to do that as an international. I'm sorry. Like, I've had this discussion with you guys before. I have had this discussion with you guys before. And you should never, with that caliber of player, have to joystick your players and tell them what to do. If you don't think Brendan Aronson, Tyler Adams, two guys that play on Leeds, Giovanni Reina who plays at Dortmund, Dest that plays at AC Milan, Zimmerman, who has been two-time Defensive Player of the Year in MLS. Aaron Long, okay, I get it. Like, but Red Bull still have they still have a system where they have to defend, and he's a leader in the back line. Sam Bynes, who plays overseas. If you have to tell them what to do and where to be, why are you coaching? What is the point? There is no point. These are top players. If you think you have the best players, this is ludicrous. He needs to shut the hell up and just let them play. They are not stupid. They know what to do. It is terrible. And I almost knocked over my coffee. Gosh darn it.
I don't think we've seen Brooks get this animated in the months we've been doing our show, so I love it. But I will say, you're not wrong. These are top international players. They should know what to do. You've been working with them for a couple of days, putting some tactics into place, putting a style of play into place. Let them go out and do it. Let them execute it.
Yes.
You shouldn't need your coach screaming and yelling from the sideline. I will say you do need screaming and yelling from the sideline from youth coaches telling your players where to be,
Sure.
what position to be in, how to play the game. They're still learning. International players, you're probably onto something there.
Maybe the only thing Berhalter has to do is he's got to work the fourth official, but to get some calls. Maybe that's it. That's the only thing he needs to do. Everything else, it's in the players' hands. If you can't trust your players, what are you doing coaching the national team? And I think he's changed his style. I love the change of style, but this has to stop. This barking out orders and telling guys what to do and where to be and joysticking them. They don't want to do this. They are top players. They probably think it's BS that they're joysticked anyways by Berhalter, and they know, just let me play, and I'll figure it out as the game goes on.
Nate, I would love your opinion of that because you don't actually see other National League coaches doing that. You don't see Gareth Southgate. You don't see Hansi Flick. You don't see these other big coaches, as Brooke said there, joysticking these players. They put in a tactic, they put it in, and they let them run it. Nate, what's your thoughts on that, buddy?
Doesn't bother me as much. I mean, that's not. No, you do see that actually. You saw the Argentina coach used to get off his chair and practically throw it and was screaming so loud. You saw Ronaldo do it during the Euro final. It just depends. I mean, I see your point, Brooks. I do. I definitely do. But when you're a coach and you're not getting what you want out of your players, then you're not just going to sit there and let it happen. You're going to get up and voice.
But it doesn't do anything. Like, that doesn't motivate them. Like, you have top players. Like, you yelling at them and telling them what to is no motivation.
Someone should tell Jose Mourinho that then. Someone should tell.
That's
I mean,
why he's not coaching national team, but that's okay.
But there's a litany of club coaches and national team coaches that do it time to time. It just depends, and I do really see your point. I do 100% see it. I'm not. It doesn't bother me as much, but I do see what you're saying and do agree with you. You know that yeah, sometimes you got to let the game breathe a little bit.
And I believe in Berhalter. I do. Well, I think he can do it.
He's getting a lot of criticism, which was funny. I'm going to throw this out there though. Competitive matches. Because I don't give a shit about friendlies. We all agree with that?
Yeah,
competitive matches.
Yeah, that's fine.
Competitive matches. 24-5-5, 83% win.
Good. I like it.
92 goals scored, 19 conceded.
Got it done.
Competitive matches. And that's what, because I think Hergio Gomez was like, he's not the guy, you need to fire him, blah, blah, blah.
You're not doing that 56 days before the World Cup.
No, and it's not deserved.
Because he loses a friendly.
But should Tata Martino be fired from the Mexican national team? He hasn't produced
but
any
that's
much.
Maybe, but not 56 days before the World Cup.
I know that, but I'm saying if you compare the two, Berhalter's done better.
But that's my point. He has an 83% win in competitive matches, 83% win percentage. How do you fire a guy
exactly
that actually performs when you need him to perform in matches that count?
Yes.
You know?
Yes. I agree.
So, it's...
Heck yeah.
That's me. By the way, Kurt agrees with you, Brooks.
Yay! Thank you, Kurt.
Maybe because I've just, been on the sideline and have lost it once or twice.
Well, all right.
I'm trying to defend myself now.
2-0 to Japan.
Yeah.
One of the things I did say was, this is a comment that I saw online, and I actually really agree with it. U.S. men's national team need to realize that this isn't CONCACAF, and the mistakes you make you will get punished.
True.
When we play good teams in the World Cup, and it is the World Cup, take it up a next level.
Yes.
You make a mistake, you will get punished. This is something Berhalter and his team need to get rid of, and that's what these friendlies are for.
Yeah.
With the next one coming up, they take on Saudi Arabia this Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff from Spain, the Enrique Roca Stadium on FS1. You like the little inflection?
Yeah, I do.
Especially in a few places. 2 p.m. Tuesday, Saudi Arabia. I don't think Saudi Arabia is going to pose quite the threat that Japan did, but I think it will be a good test. It'll be a little bit of a different test.
Are they in the World Cup, Saudi Arabia?
That's a good question.
Do they qualify?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they did. So here's the thing. USA loses 2-0 to Saudi Arabia. We may have issues because now you're playing a team... Again,
what team?
It's a friendly, though.
It's a friendly. Now you will have lost 2 friendlies in a row.
Tell you the truth.
In the World Cup with and that means that you didn't take the coach's tactics and put it into play because he's not playing to lose.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they lose this one, their confidence will be low. The questions will be asked.
Well, the American Outlaws and such will be very upset. I mean, I'm kind of with Nate. You played a good Japanese team, the Blue Samurai.
They came to play, and you run up and down that team. Those players play in Germany, Spain,
You know what
England.
I applaud Japan too? Because they're very much like America, where a lot of them, the players come through like a university system. It's not like England where they kind of forget the collegiate, the university system. But they have done a very good job over the years developing some high quality players, Japan. And I think people really underestimate what the Japanese can do. Their men and women's team have been extremely good.
I gotta disagree with Kurt here again. Japan, that's what kills me. We should have won it, even though it's a friendly. I'm gonna say this again. Look at Japan's international record.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are extremely well organized. They're extremely well good.
Did they beat Germany a couple
They
years ago?
did beat Germany.
Yeah, they did.
Like, that's what I'm saying. They got out of a group that Germany did not.
Yeah.
They constantly get out of their groups in World Cup.
Yeah.
They constantly win their domestic cup,
Yeah.
which that's what they have, right? Their international success rate is actually solid. And as a player, Craig, and as a scout, Brooks, I'm going to ask this question. What wins out more, a well-organized team or individual talent?
Well-organized team.
And that is what Japan is. A well-organized team. Not based on individual talent.
But I think that's what we're hoping to see from our American team, because we realize the teams that we're going to be playing in the World Cup.
Yeah, but it took Japan.
They're well organized, and they have these star players. We don't quite have those star players yet.
No, I mean, it just took Japan for years to do this. I mean, this is not this, and we're getting there, and we're coming. The hiccup that we had was getting knocked out in bad organization from when they fired Klinsmann with no real plan other than let's go back to what we did like 8 years ago. That should work, right? Yeah, come on. And that set your program back. It's back on track. You're doing well. I think the U20s had a good outing.
The 19s did too.
The 19s did. And honestly, the men's team has had good outings as well, except this one friendly, right? So I think it's the whole program in general is moving in the right direction. I'm not really worried.
I think people need to realize, which they haven't realized or they haven't really taken an in-depth look at, is the U.S. men's national team has always been very old, not end of the career guys, but like middle of the 25, 26, 27-year-olds that have, kind of with a few young guys sprinkled in. This is different. This is a lot of young 20-year-olds, some players in their teens and their late teens, young 20s that are the leaders. This is going to be a struggle for a bit for some things. It's never going to be perfect in friendlies. But gosh darn it, when 2026 comes around, listen, if they get out of the group stage in this one and advance and maybe lose in that first round, that's great. If they compete, but they are preparing for 2026 for when we host it, because they want to put on a good show and show what American soccer player is about. Not trying to say they're going to overlook this one, but this is a team that's young.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a young team here. I think we said this before. It's not this World Cup we're expecting to win. We're expecting to do well in this World Cup. I think we get to the quarterfinals and get knocked out in Qatar, U.S. men's national team. I think 2026 is the one we're really shooting for. I think you're absolutely 100% right. I think once we get closer to the World Cup, we can start having discussions about what happens if we bomb out in the round phase? What happens if we don't get through? What happens if we don't make it? What happens if we don't score a goal? What happens if you just absolutely fail and don't do anything? Is it starting over again? Is it bringing in a new coach? Those are questions we'll ask. I think those will be fun discussions as we get closer. And we're not far away, as we said. We're 56 days away from the biggest competition in the world.
It just depends on how you fail and bomb out. I mean, if you play a couple close types games and look good, then no, you're not starting over. If you get bone crushed, it's a different story. But I mean, it depends.
It absolutely depends.
The World Cup is kind of hard. There's not like a lot of teams that win it, and I think Americans forget that. And sorry, and I'm not trying to
you're right.
but this idea that
8 teams have ever won the World Cup.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought it was 7, but it might be 8, whatever.
It's 7 or 8, but this isn't something this isn't parity in international.
No.
This isn't MLS parity.
And actually, two of those teams, of the 8 teams, they come out of just 2 regions: South America and Europe. That's it.
Germany's won twice, correct?
Yep. No way. Hold on.
No, who's won twice? Oh,
Let me
okay.
count my stars. 4 times.
Sorry,
actually.
4.
Thank
yes.
you. And how many times have England won?
Once. Please. Thank you. Please.
Is
Please.
4
Thank you.
greater than 1? Hold on, let me do some math here.
I think so.
Carry the 1.
Is this carrying to the next game?
Yeah, give me a minute. Greg, is 4 greater than 1?
It depends what world we're talking about. I don't know. I'm not really sure. We're working on something else over here. Nate.
Yeah. 4's greater than 1. 4's greater.
yeah.
No, but it's just incredibly hard. It's incredibly hard to do, and actually, no one in our region's ever done it. No one in Asia. No one in Africa.
Yeah.
So this idea that you're going to just walk in and hey, it's ours because Pulisic's on the cover of a magazine.
Yes.
Well, hate to break it to you, you know.
Well, I do want to ask this question real quick because Nate, you and I had this discussion. I think this might have been a topic on We Are Soccer on the Facebook group this past week. Viewership.
Oh.
Viewership for the
okay.
World Cup. I am starting at this point now with these international friendlies here happening this week, and then the Nations League that no one really cares about. Those games being played. I'm starting to get a little bit of that World Cup fever, right? I can see the players coming into the teams. I can see the formations the coach is going to play, what they're trying to do. I can see it. It's starting to hit home that, hey, World Cup is actually 56 days away, and now we can see it. It's almost here. Yes, it's in Qatar. Yes, that country has had a freaking... They bought the World Cup. Let's just get that out of the way. Qatar bought it. They are still working on stadiums. They're still working on hotels. They're working on a tent city. They have a lot of work to do. This is how Qatar does things. Last minute. It is going to be expensive. There are going to be controversies. I've heard that the facilities and stadiums, they're indoor and air conditioned, and they are terrible. The air conditioning is terrible. The fans are going to be miserable. The players are going to be even more miserable. But it's still the World Cup. I still plan on watching because it's the best players in the world. They are playing the World Cup. I do not miss the World Cup. I do not miss those matches. We asked a question on our Twitter, this past week. We asked it on our Facebook, and the answers were, yeah, we're getting ready for the World Cup. I'm not going to like it, but I am going to watch. It seemed to be across the board, most people saying, I'm going to watch. I'm not going to be happy because it's in Qatar. I won't go out of the way to watch some of the lower type games, but the big games and their country games they are going to watch. I'm going to watch as much as I can because, and I'm not going to be happy because it is in Qatar, but I am going to watch it because it is the World Cup. I do think that this will be the most watched World Cup ever, though, because more and more people have access to watch these games. And now you're bringing in countries and you're bringing in regions around the world that previously probably weren't as excited and looking forward to it as they are now. This will be, mark my words, this will be the most watched World Cup we have ever had. I'm looking forward to it, and it's starting to heat up. I'm getting excited. We're making plans. Brooks, Nate, you guys looking forward to the World Cup?
Yes, I am. It's going to be weird again that it's not in the summertime, but obviously you don't want the players to roast in Qatar during the summertime, but it's a different change. I mean, it's nice. I mean, hey, like, you know, around when some stuff's not on TV or whatever. I mean, it'd be interesting to see the day after Thanksgiving that England and the United States players in England and Wales that play the day after the Thanksgiving.
Yep, that's on Black
Friday, right?
Black Friday is U.S. men's national team versus England.
Yes.
Yep.
That'll be a good one. We'll see how many they draw. I mean, MLS had some very interesting numbers when they played last year around Thanksgiving and on Thanksgiving. So let's see how the World Cup numbers do. Maybe it'll knock some of the American football and such off their ass and bring soccer into the front. And
that's going to be one of the most watched games in the history of the sport. I think USA versus England, Black Friday. Is that like a noon kickoff as well? Something like that. So, you know, get your Thanksgiving food in on Thanksgiving, eat, drink some beers, sleep in that morning, get up and watch. Well, I mean, what is going to be an absolutely phenomenal game, in my opinion. Nate, I see you have changed into your Germany jersey there.
Well, we're talking World Cup and we're off the USA, so I switched out of my American Outlaws and now ready to talk about the World Cup.
Wouldn't you know it, my England's take on your Germany.
Oh,
this week.
rivalry, death match, cage match. Woo,
Two
woo,
teams
woo.
that are playing for nothing. Let's see how it goes.
I mean, before we get to that, before we get to England versus Germany, England just lost to Italy.
Who cares?
Same. Doesn't
Guess what?
matter.
Germany just lost. Who they lost to Hungary, and a double. Who cares?
Double who cares.
So I mean, I that game should be actually fun to watch though, because you always you look out for individual players. Germany has some nice young players that I think if they play or if they decide to play, we'll see if they decide to play them. It could be an interesting match. I'm not sure if we're getting to that now or if we're still on the viewership thing that I was going to crap on. Your call.
Well, I do want to talk about England versus Germany because it is a very.
All right. Do you want me to crap on your idea first? Most ever watched?
Yeah, go for
Yeah.
it. Yeah, go for it.
I decided we can glaze over it.
You're telling me
Yep.
you don't think this World Cup will be one of the most watched World Cups ever?
Nope.
Ever.
No.
In the history of the sport.
Especially when you put it in those parameters. Absolutely not. So what is different? So what is different from what is the new technology that they have that they didn't have 4 years ago? Just out of curiosity.
They're not using VAR, are they?
No. Viewer technology. What is the new viewer technology? Please explain, because you said there's this new viewer technology. It's more accessible. What didn't they have 4 years ago?
I definitely didn't say viewer technology.
Okay, how is it more accessible?
There are
How is it more accessible?
Way more accessible 4 years later with how it's going to be broadcast out of Qatar. Qatar did not
did not pay for the World Cup.
Okay. No,
so
how is
it
it?
be the least watched World Cup ever?
Okay,
They're going to make sure this thing is broadcast far and wide.
No, you have not actually stated anything. That's like me.
You mean TVs are way more accessible now than ever before?
Are they? I don't think they are. But you said this
Amazon
is
Prime TV. It wasn't around 4 years ago.
streaming wasn't around 4 years ago. You're wrong.
In its I want to say infancy.
There's first thing. There's plenty of internet streaming, and the people who need to watch the World Cup don't in areas like that don't watch it on Amazon Prime. They watch it on bootleg whatever that I keep getting ads for.
Amazon
So I disagree. There has been no additional that I know of groundbreaking, cool technology for me to access viewership. Number one. Number two, there is high criticism on how Qatar has basically enslaved people in order to build this.
Absolutely.
There are people who are literally going, I am not going, celebrity footballers who are going, I'm not attending this World Cup. I don't consider this a real World Cup. I'm disgusted how they're doing. 3, winter, please. That is the worst friggin' idea ever. By the way, you think it's a good idea to go against competition and that's going to add viewers? That's insane. Summer, there's nothing going on.
I want to make sure.
It's going. Wait, summer
I
is.
don't think that's a good idea to go to
No,
competition. Where did I
but
say that?
this is my reasoning for I don't think it's going to be. I think viewership is going to be. Now let me preface this because people went. You mean in the 1964 World Cup? It's not. You're not going to have to say no. In the modern era, I think this will be one of the lower viewed World Cups because of the controversy, the timing, as well as. There are people who absolutely can't stand a international break like this and do not turn on the games because they're big in their clubs. That exists. So I really don't think it's going to be more than 4 years ago or 8 years ago. I think it's going to be slightly less. I think because of all the crap going on, I think this was a huge miss. I think this is a huge swing and a miss. So, and you know what? I'm actually hoping for a huge swing and a miss. Not because I don't like the World Cup, not because I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to watch it. But if it's a huge success, then get ready for more FIFA bullshit like this. So I hope everyone should be rooting for a real big miss here so these guys learn their lesson. And the only way they learn their lesson is their pocketbook. So
I don't think people will learn a lesson no matter what.
You know what? They'll learn a lesson if this is one of the low. If the marketing and the viewership go down, they will 100% learn a lesson and go, "Oops, that was a miscalculation." They won't admit it. They'll never do it again.
Yeah, good point.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But the sport right now is more popular than ever before.
Yeah.
More Americans
Yes.
are watching this sport than ever before. More of the world is watching this sport than ever before.
No. The global population of soccer has not really changed, I don't think. Where? How? But I will agree with US. But now you're feeding into the biggest problem that I see. You have all litany of shit going on here in the States that people are going to be distracted, and this is a sidebar now. So I don't see it. I just don't see it. I really don't. Sorry. And Sal's on the line and says Viva Italiana.
Yay!
Really rubbing
Who
it
said
in your
that?
face.
Salvatore. Yeah.
Is he Italian?
I think Salvatore sounds very Italian to me.
I thought it was
That's
Polish.
our good friend of the show, Sam Pirani, who this week stepped down from the DCFC women's team, and he's going to focus on youth teams. I'm sorry, that he did the best thing for him and his family to focus on soccer. And I want to say that guy, Sam Pirani, in the state of Michigan, is an absolute legend. He is a soccer legend. If you play soccer and have played soccer in the state of Michigan in the last 10, 15 years and you don't know that name, you don't know soccer in this state. Sam Pirani is an absolute legend. Stepped down from DCFC women's team. He did a great job in the last couple of years taking that team to where it was. Good friend of the show. Very good dude, by the way. So glad to see he's watching.
He says hi to me all the time.
Not in men's soccer.
And doesn't make fun of my short stature.
I believe.
Yeah, he is.
Congratulations.
Oh, let's get a round of applause.
Hey, well done. Well done, Sammy.
Yes.
Yeah, Madonna Sports Hall of Fame.
Yes, the Crusaders.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Yeah, man. I love talking to him. Such a good dude, man. So knowledgeable. No, my word. All right, back to what we're talking about. Viewership. We're gonna have to agree to disagree.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. We will see after. The problem, a little bit of the problem is, and we've seen this before in all sporting events, the viewership numbers are skewed. We don't know what's real. But in my opinion, it will be one of the most watched, just to the fact that it's the World Cup. It's the World Cup.
You see how he already lined that up?
No.
If he's wrong, like I said, the viewership is skewed. He gave himself an out.
See, here's the problem. I think it'll be skewed in my direction because FIFA and Qatar, they're gonna say it's the most watched ever. Are those gonna be the real numbers?
Yeah, well, you can look up the real numbers, I believe.
I don't know.
What,
do you know who? I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment who owns the World Cup rights in the USA. Is it Fox or CBS?
I think Fox has.
Was it Fox that bought it? They paid hundreds of millions for it.
I think so.
Turner.
Was it Turner Sports?
Turner.
We're gonna have to look it up.
Turner
Again,
Sports.
they paid a lot of money for it.
So no, they made a comment. The Japan. Fox was the Japan game was the last time that ESPN will show it. They're done.
We know it's not ESPN.
They're done.
They've been
They're done.
money for years now.
They are done.
Okay.
And I thought they in that comment they said Turner has the rights. Now the only question that I'm unsure of is Turner may have the rights to air USA games, but they may not have the rights to play the World Cup. And I think you're right. I think that's Fox.
I've got to say though. The U.S. men's national team's qualifying games and things like that could be a little bit different, but
that's what
the overall World Cup is going to be whoever owns that rights owns all of it.
I think it's Fox.
Yeah.
It's like the TV merry-go-round. I mean, MLS is with the Apple TV now.
It's nutty. Nate, why don't you go ahead and do a little bit of research there for us?
I don't have to think. I have this thing called the internet. It's really cool.
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
It's on that funny little device
Here we go. I'm Googling as we speak.
Yeah.
I'm going the long way about it too. So
you take the whole thing in?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought.
Talk about media rights.
Never mind.
Carousel here with all the leagues and everything.
It is a bit strange. It's all soccer as well, right?
Yeah.
But,
I'm waiting for Amazon Prime to. I mean, they're doing well with Thursday Night Football. I'm running Amazon Prime.
Yeah, those were big numbers. I'm waiting for Amazon Prime to jump up, and I think that's why Apple got involved with MLS.
Yeah.
And that's why MLS wanted Apple on board for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then they're going to showcase it. Watch those numbers go up because it's one of the fastest growing sports here in the U.S.
What was it?
And then all of a sudden, Prime are going to jump on it for sure at some point.
What was that? I read last Thursday Night Football, in a 3-hour time span, they had the most people subscribed to Amazon Prime than they ever did before.
So that Thursday Night Football, a lot of people watching that, huh?
Yeah.
Good thing there's not a World Cup going on anytime there's any NFL game going on. And let's go.
Do we know who owns the media rights to the World Cup?
I believe it's Fox.
Fox.
I stopped looking after 2 minutes.
We believe it's Fox. Nate, I do want to get back to the discussion we had
Hello!
with Germany versus England. So that is a historic rivalry. That is a rivalry that often happens in big competitions like the World Cup or the Euros. And it could very well happen in Qatar. England and Germany could face each other in the knockout rounds. So with this game coming up this week, England versus Germany being played at Wembley Stadium, I think it'll be a very tame affair. I think both coaches will not want to give anything away. They'll probably play the younger kids. They'll play players who they don't normally play. They won't want to give any of their tactics away. So I think it'll be tame, and I think it'll be boring.
Does England have any tactics? Because they haven't won since you played a friendly against the Ivory Coast. So I'm not sure if they have any tactics right about now. I
think their tactics are terrible. I
read something about they haven't scored a non-penalty kick or something like that. Like they're the only team that it was a really bad stat.
Did you see the look on his face when he said that?
No, it was a good.
Just shot to the nuts.
I can't argue. I cannot. But I'm gonna blow your minds right now because in the last 2 major tournaments that England have been in, they went to the semifinals in 2018 and they went to the finals of the Euros in 2021.
Sweet.
So if Gareth Southgate takes this team into the quarters or the semifinals of the Qatar World Cup, he will be one of the winningest coaches in English national team history.
Wow.
Gareth Southgate could this World Cup be the winningest manager that the England national team has ever had.
It's going to be shit when he
goes. Is this his second World Cup cycle?
It's going to be crap when it's Iran and when Iran and USA get out of the group and Wales and England don't.
No, it's going to be Wales and
Wales
and
Iran.
States. Because the English don't like the Welsh.
Oof. The English do not like the Welsh.
Yes.
I like the Welsh personally, but yes. But does that not blow your mind? I thought about that and said,
that is crazy.
If Gareth Southgate gets to the quarterfinals, he'll be the most winningest manager in England history.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
That means he's done well. Yeah, he hasn't won.
But he still hasn't won anything. He still hasn't won anything. He will be the winningest coach, and he will have not won anything.
Yeah.
And this is the year that England really need to show and put some teeth into it. And now they're just limping along because, as you said, Nate, they have not scored a goal, a legitimate non-penalty goal, in several months. And it's disheartening.
Yes.
It's very disheartening. So we will see. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that USA versus England game on Black Friday will be tame.
A wonderful 0-0 draw.
Yeah. Which will, if that happens, would the U.S. men's national team consider that a victory overall?
Well, do you know the crazy stat about the USA playing England? That actually I know because I like to throw it in everyone's face.
Don't they have a winning record against England?
They do. Actually, They have never lost a competitive match against England. Never have lost a competitive match against
America!
Remember?
We may need to take a halftime break early so I can go cry in the corner here.
Who was the goalkeeper where Dempsey hit the ball and it just went...
Robert Green?
Robert Green.
Nice.
Yeah, and they were like, his girlfriend just broke up with him or something.
Could you imagine if he was Colombian?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, let's not go there. Let's not go there.
No.
So that was a bad one to give up, was it not?
So so Germany, England, that should be an interesting match, and I'm hoping the same thing that Germany actually does play a bunch of their young players. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think the squad is still a big question mark on who Hansi Flick is actually going to take. They had one or two. They have an injury to Nietzsche, who plays for Wolfsburg, who won't be playing, which is unfortunate. Because would have been exciting to see him against that team. But yeah, I'm not expecting any fireworks from these guys, from either coach, and we'll see. We'll basically see.
We'll see how it goes. I agree. I'm not I'm not expecting many fireworks. I'm not expecting much from this game.
No.
They don't want to give any tactics away. They don't want to give anything away of who they're playing, how they plan on playing, because again, they might see each other in about 2 months' time in the knockout phases of the World Cup.
And that's got to be something that's going through everyone's head as they're, why would you show everything like.
Listen. Everyone has phone on everyone, so let's not hide anything. Yes, everyone has Instat. No one knows what Instat is, but Brooks does because he in the program.
Ooh, I'm a scout. I know special things.
Everyone has Instat. Everyone has Y Scout. All the videos.
Yeah, but you don't
there.
have that with the collective group of the national team.
Yes, you do. All the national team games on there. I have to show you this when you guys.
Not recent.
Yes.
Like you don't want to give them more ammo.
That's where I watched the game on. I didn't watch the Japanese men's national team game. I was like, well, Instat uploads it within the day, and then they do the stats the next day.
That's kind of impressive.
But
what do I got to do to get access to that, Brooks?
Pay a lot of money.
Your Instat has fraudulent data because those guys aren't going to start, which is my point. You know what I mean? You're not going to have Aaron Long or De La Torre starting in that game. So the Instat data that pulled, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. Why would you want to give that data with a starting squad that you know you're going to have?
But you're going to watch from when the guys were in the CONCACAF.
You have no idea if it's going to be the same guys because PFOC didn't play in the game.
How can, if you're not an international coach and you know who your guys are and you work, especially like if you're Gareth Southgate and you live in the UK and you know the top American players, how could you not assume what the top lineup would be?
Because PFOC plays in Germany. Nobody watches the Bundesliga.
Oh my God.
Real quick though,
yes.
And I tried to pull down how many Bundesliga players were actually playing in these friendlies, and I got lost because there are so many playing for so many different countries. It's incredible. But we're Stuttgart Roundup.
Oh boy, here we go.
Just the international players.
Yep.
Endo and Ito Endo got the start, who plays the defensive mid for Japan, and Ito came on the 46th minute. Endo actually had the most accurate passers at 94% for Japan. Ito came off the bench. Sosa got a start for the Croatian national team, scored his first goal with the first shot for him. And Mavropanos actually started as well and had the most passes for Greece. So there you go, Bundesliga, at least my guys. But many of them. And what's funny is everyone then gets to see him on a world stage and go, who is that guy? And I'm like, it's a guy I've been watching every week, and he plays for this team. You know,
if he does any good in the World Cup, he's going to be bought by an English club. Because that's how it goes. In the January window.
By the way,
speaking of the World Cup,
Sal agrees with Brooks. He says tactics are changing at this point, no matter who's on the pitch.
Yeah, no kidding. And
I'm not talking about tactics. I'm talking about individual players.
They know. If not, they call up someone.
Let me live in my dream that things change all the time. I play FIFA, god damn it.
You don't think people call their people that they know and they ask what's going on?
I don't have friends. I don't know how that's like, Brooks. Thanks for reminding me once again.
Oh my God.
Friendless Nate.
In your corner.
Yeah.
Friendless Nate. I have nobody.
We all have our corner to cry in the studio.
Yes.
All right, I do want to talk about the World Cup in India that's coming up.
India?
Yep. See wait, hold on. Wait, I want to see.
Hold on. I got to go back to this. Wait. Hold on. 2 seconds. Then why are you calling in any new players then if everyone knows what the hell you're doing and nothing ever is going to change? Then what's the point?
What?
Then what's the point?
These are guys that he may consider bringing.
No, but nothing's going to change at this point, right? That's what you guys have just said.
No.
Well,
okay.
Include me in that.
No. No. Everyone has to be on other people.
Agreed.
And they talk, and everyone within the game knows people. So they can assume what they're going to do. You don't think Berhalter may be hiding things? He maybe brings someone in just because?
No, you guys said everything's going to be the same in these,
I did not say everything was going to be the same. I said people can see how they're going to play. They have an idea of who they're going to bring, and there you go.
All right, onwards. Back to the World Cup that is happening in India, starting in October. No, it is not the U.S. men's national team. We are talking about one of the local players here, Amalia Villarreal, and it's
Oh.
official. Amalia, who plays the 0405. I think that definitely deserves a clap. She is,
Ultimate Michigan.
yeah, she is an absolute star.
Amalia, Michigan State.
Yeah.
Come on, Larry Craig, Michigan State.
I
Let's
just
go.
saw her-
Gotta go
I
there.
thought she was gonna have a good career and just.
Oh,
She will have a good career.
that's
Then you
a
don't
low-
go. Then you don't go
Michigan
to. You don't go to
State.
college.
Yeah.
That was a low blow there. I actually
Whoa.
saw a picture of her online in a Texas T-shirt. It looks like she may be down in Texas at this point. But she is an 04-05 GA player, and she's been named to the World Cup roster for the United States U17 national team,
Yes.
which the first match kicks off 10:30 a.m. on October 11th against the hosts, India. Okay. It's U17, it's girls, but I'm sorry, that is a huge deal. A local player got named to the squad. She is on the plane to India. She is going to make a difference. She is a baller.
I think a huge deal is an understatement. That doesn't happen.
No,
Like,
agreed.
a lot ever.
Almost ever, yeah.
You know.
She is
It's
on
historic.
her way.
Historic would be the term, actually.
I mean, her and Chloe Ricketts play for the same Jags team. How unfair is
Yeah.
that?
I
Let's
mean,
just put that.
yeah. Let's just.
And
let's
they
just
both
put
train
that-
with Aaron Bird.
Yeah, and they both train with Next Level Training and Aaron Bird.
Yes.
I have watched Chloe Ricketts train. She's fun to watch train, by the way, man. She just goes at it. She was actually down. We're on the second floor here. I was watching a couple of weeks ago. I spoke to her dad for a little bit. Chloe was training against some of the older boys, and man, she just.
I think she was at the Wolves game, the Wolves crew game I was at today,
Yeah?
too, because she's got some of her former Tigers teammates that are playing for Wolves, I think, too. She
Nice.
was supporting them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's awesome to see a local player making it like that. All right, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna talk real quick about one of my favorite segments, the We Are Soccer and Michigan Soccer Central Team of the Week. Woo! This week, the Team of the Week is Kent City High School Boys Soccer Team. We received a nomination from someone associated with that team, and as a staff, the We Are Soccer staff and the Michigan Soccer Central staff voted. And as you can see with that nice new graphic we have up, Kent City High School Boys Soccer Team. Congratulations. If you know of a team that is deserving of the We Are Soccer and Michigan Soccer Central Team of the Week, please nominate them. And how you nominate them is just hit us up on any of our social channels. DM us, however, tag us, let us know, We Are Soccer or Michigan Soccer Central. Let us know why and who you think should be Michigan Soccer Central and We Are Soccer Team of the Week. It doesn't even have to be anything you've done on the field. It doesn't have to be because you guys win all the games, you score all the goals. It could be something you've done in the community. We love those type of stories. So hit us up, tag us, DM us on any of our social channels. You name it, we will get back to you guys and let you know every week we do this. But congratulations again to Kent City High School Soccer.
Yes.
And now we're going to do a little bit of a couple of minutes break here. And you're going to listen to Robert Kerr from Michigan Soccer Central, and he's going to let you know what's coming up this week on their station. We will be back on the other side in a couple minutes.
Hey guys, Robert Kerr here from the Michigan Soccer Central podcast, giving you a little bit of a preview of what's on the Michigan Soccer Central podcast this week. It's been a great soccer weekend, almost a English-style weather conditions set up a great busy weekend. It was cool, not hot, a little bit damp, so we got some wet grass and some cool temperatures, so it was really great for playing. Youth soccer all through the day Saturday. Saw the referee shortage firsthand. Had to referee a couple games as well as coach a couple. That was fun, but a whole lot of work and definitely need more referees. On the program, I have some post-game comments from Yazid Matthews and Trevor James on the heels of the 2-2 draw at Keyworth Stadium in Hamtramck on Saturday night. A very exciting game. Great for the neutral, probably supporters a little bit disappointed not to get the 3 points. 3 points on Saturday against Tulsa would have brought the chances to get that top 4 place and a home game in the USL Championship playoffs a little bit closer, but a draw kind of puts that possibility in a little bit of doubt. And then I've got a great feature interview. I've got Nolan Bianchi, the columnist from the Detroit News. He's been covering Detroit City FC to at an extent that not many have. He's been at every single game, and he's done some deep dives, and he's really dug up some interesting stories, not only on the coach but players as well. So some great candid interviews on the post game at Detroit City FC versus Tulsa, and then I'll have an interview with Nolan Bianchi, Detroit news writer, and a whole bunch of other tidbits. And before I go, special shout out to Amalia Villarreal. She got the nod to go to the U17 Women's World Cup. So congratulations to her, making Michigan soccer proud as an outstanding player and getting the call up to the World Cup. And so much more. And don't forget to submit your nominations for the We Are Soccer Michigan Soccer Central Team of the Week. I'll be sure to have that in the show too. So check it out on Spotify and now also on YouTube. So check it out, Michigan Soccer Central Podcast, here each and every week.
All right, guys, we're back, and apologies for some of the audio issues we are having. We did a bunch of tests this week, and when you know it, everything went well, and then you go live, and boom, issues. This is what happens when we move into your own studio, and it's also tough to test when you're live. So, apologies for that. We really do, we really are trying. All right, a couple of things we'll jump on real quick here. There is a Christian Pulisic autobiography that's coming out. I'm not quite sure when it's coming out, but it will be soon. We've heard there are lots of excerpts about Christian Pulisic and his displeasure with Thomas Tuchel, the former Chelsea coach and manager, promising playing time and starts and then taking it away. And I don't know. It seems a little weird for a 23-year-old to be writing an autobiography. Will I pick it up and read it? Yeah, probably. But his career is less than half over, so it's
He's been through so much, though.
I mean, has he?
Guys,
Has he?
I think you're taking a shit on something that could be pretty interesting. Now,
Yes.
I'm
not
gonna,
taking this shit on it. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not going to read it because I don't read. Highly against reading. It's just my thing. It's reading's for chumps, and if you read, then then you're a chump. The only thing
pronunciation and spelling.
Earmuff it.
Pronunciation and spelling is highly overrated too. I mean, we're all going into computers that will do the things that you need to do yourself. Like this is now you're sounding like that teacher that told me that I'd never have a calculator with me, so I got to learn how to figure out and solve the problem myself. How stupid is that teacher right now, huh? Yeah, okay. Anywho, so anyways, off my non-reading tangent. The only thing you need to read is the weights.
That's a bad example for your kids.
My kids are gonna be jacked and tan.
Is it?
So anyways,
I'm gonna go over here and laugh for a minute.
So yeah, it's okay. My kids are good. I got my daughter is getting her poses down, and my son's a gym bro. I got to look at his pecs all the time. He tells me, "Dad, look at my pecs. Look at my pecs." I'm like, "All right." He
works out with you?
No, which is a scary thing. He's already there without actually having the proper tutelage. I can't wait to give him pre-workout tomorrow. Anyways,
Oh my!
Pulisic autobiography.
Hold on, let me go back to it. So I get he's young, but to me that's a non-factor. I think there is a very interesting story there as a kid who came from Hershey, Pennsylvania, and then transferred over to Dortmund, and then transferred over to England. He, even at a young age, he has now lived in 3 different cultures, if you think about it, and I think that's worth writing about.
He's lived all over. His dad was a coach, so he was in Michigan.
Yeah, he moved around.
I
think there's
he was an indoor soccer coach.
Yeah,
here. He's been everywhere.
I think there's a hell of a story there.
Is it now a little early to start writing the story? We're not even halfway through where it could be.
So
retire at 35. He's still got another 12 years of career left.
So again, it depends on what this biography is about. If it's like, hey, my career and here are my highlights, okay, yeah, you're right. But if it's like, no, here's what I've done so far, and here's the cultures I've experienced. He's one of the only Americans to win a Champions League, right? Like, he's got a bunch of
a previous American had won the Champions League, but he is the only American to play in the Champions League final.
Yes.
Right, the final. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So there is a bunch of stuff that even at a young age that he has never done before. And I think just from a culture, as someone who's lived in other cultures, as a young person moving there, going to Dortmund, living in Germany, I think entirely by himself, going to England.
Learning German.
I think
speak in German, to be fluid with it too.
I think there is probably a very interesting story. It's all about how you frame it, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Again, if it's an ego shot. Now, I don't like the bashing of a coach. I think you can do without that because I don't think he needs it. I think he can have an interesting story and an interesting book based on his experience in other countries and two other clubs. And coming from America at a young age, I think that itself could be an interesting biography.
Yeah.
And
I think it would be interesting for sure, but again, I just think it's a little early.
You'd want to do it while it's fresh in your head, wouldn't you? At 23 versus at the end. Now, two different books. One could be about the end of the career. Mm-hmm. That would be at the end. But, one about your experiences and how you've come up so far, I think would be better suited in the moment.
Yep. Bad thing to do in an autobiography, shit on your coach.
No, I want to do that. That's where I disagree.
Not a good idea.
Yep.
I think we can all agree on that.
Yep.
Unless you're Zlatan
Ibrahimovic. Zlatan can get away with anything. But telling the world that the coach promised you this or told you this, told you that, and then backpedaled on it, that happens. Maybe the coach changed his mind and didn't give you an explanation. Guess what? He's a manager and the coach. He doesn't have to give you an explanation. It's his job. He didn't do that because he didn't like you. It's a bad look because when clubs go to purchase you in the future, that will be in the back of their mind that he could start writing a second autobiography and give some of those pieces away.
So, but though, it's not out yet, right? So we don't know the contents and the quotes, and it could be overblown. And
I don't think it's been published.
Yeah, so
it is not quite out yet. You're correct.
Let's wait for it to come out before. You're right. If he has a whole chapter of the Tuchel bashing, I agree. if it's, who knows what the contents of those quotes are. Maybe somebody's taking something a little bit and embellishing on it to try to sell books.
Yes.
That's a thing, I think, right? I'd want to see it in writing as it comes out.
Audio tape books. That's the new thing.
When's it going to be on the documentary Amazon Prime played by Elijah Wood? I think Elijah Wood would make great Pulisic.
Oh my.
Well, everyone likes to listen to audiobooks now because, as you stated, no one reads. So.
Oh.
Speaking of All or Nothing and Amazon Prime, Brooks, I know you're a huge fan of the current All or Nothing.
I like all of them,
Arsenal.
but yes.
I've liked all of them as well. I really am enjoying the Arsenal one. I have not finished it yet, unfortunately. I've got a few other pieces, shows and things that are in line before that. I've started it. It is very good. But there are rumors swirling about who the next club is.
Oh.
Does anybody want to take a guess?
Stuttgart.
No.
No, is it in the EPL?
I still think they missed a massive boat, and I will fight this and argue this that they should have did All or Nothing. Wayne Rooney, first year
DC United head coach.
I think we're in agreement on that.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, DC United. Wayne Rooney's first year in charge. I got a feeling. I mean, that could be happening, right? They could be.
That would be. They're missing an opportunity. If they're listening to me,
I will watch it. I know you guys will.
Hell
watch
yeah,
Yes.
it'd be great.
Would be awesome.
That would be a global. That would be a global hit
Yeah,
because
absolutely. Good for MLS too.
yeah,
great for MLS.
Yeah.
you have a international coach, well-renowned international. I mean, Derby County, but he still did well there.
Yep.
International player going over to a league that not many people know about outside the U.S. It'd be great. They're missing a golden opportunity.
Well,
That means it all. I know it is. It's Seattle Sounders with Brian Schmetzer, right? All or Nothing.
it is not.
It's
I'm
not?
going to tell you the rumors are. This is just paper talk, but the rumors are. Aston Villa FC.
Oh, that's why.
Yes. It is. The rumors are that Aston Villa are going to be the next All or Nothing,
Wow,
and you will finally get to see the rich history of this sleeping giant. Most people have no idea the size of Aston Villa. They are one of the biggest clubs in England. They have one of the best stadiums in England. Trust me, if this happens, you guys and the rest of the world will finally see what all of us here have been
You'll
talking
finally
about.
see what it's like to watch a team get relegated live out of the Premier League.
Yeah, that's not happening
they're
this year.
really going for that
That's not
nothing.
gonna happen
They
this
had
year.
the all. Now they really want that nothing.
Oh, they've been relegated. They were relegated several years ago. And we fought back.
Yeah.
And
You
I'm
and your
sure
mighty-
that will be in there. But
You and the mighty two wins that you have in the league.
But when you do have a manager of Steven Gerrard's magnitude at the helm,
Sweet.
and you know
making
that is one of the reasons they want to do this All or Nothing. Will he make it through the season?
Watch the all or nothing.
No.
I already want to watch this now.
I mean, if he hasn't picked this team up by January, he can be out the door. Rumors are swirling this week. Even more so, the Pochettino is keeping his eyes on the Aston Villa job. He doesn't think Gerrard can get it done, and he wants it because he sees the money being spent by this sleeping giant, and he thinks he can take them back to where they need to be.
Tuchel's available.
We will no.
I've heard Nagelsmann gets fired. That Tuchel's the next guy.
I do not want
You're
him there.
drinking whiskey if you take a minute.
Okay, did you guys watch Juventus All or Nothing?
No.
It was in Italian, so you had to watch the subtitles.
I'm not going to read my story.
We talk about reading. They can't read.
It's not that I can't. I choose not to because I have better things to do with my goddamn time. All right? I'm not going to read stuff on my TV. Not happening. That is the biggest bullshit. Fucking subtitle that shit. Good God. You have the technology. Use it.
I thought it was interesting the Juventus won because Weston McKennie was in that, Ronaldo, and Chiellini.
Never heard of any of these people.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. And I thought that was interesting. And I mean, a Bundesliga won't be interesting for them to do. Maybe a La Liga team or something. I don't know, but like something outside of the EPL at some point.
They've had so much success. With the EPL teams. They've just got to continue it. They have to because they can't take a dip.
It's
right?
not all or nothing. I don't think it's all or nothing, but the Leeds one was really good.
Yeah, the Leeds one was good.
Is that all or nothing? I don't.
No, it's its own separate.
Yeah, that was incredibly good.
Yep.
Sunderland Until I Die.
That's a good one.
Oh, that was a really good. I mean, it went down. The first season, the second season were good. Not so much after that, but
yeah.
But
it was very good.
I enjoyed all of them.
I don't know, but I think at some point you gotta they tried Serie A. I don't know how great that one was with Juventus, but they need to find another one.
It's not an all or nothing. There is a documentary about Munich. There's reading.
Yeah, the German one too. I like that.
There's reading involved, so I'm out. But Craig reads, and he said he read it and said it was good. You read too?
Yeah,
okay,
we both
cool.
watched it. It's very good. I enjoyed that one actually.
There's words on the screen. I'm out.
Yeah.
You actually can we? Why don't we sync this up where we play it right, and I call you, and you read the words to me, and it could be like Bundesliga or not Munich. By Craig.
I don't even know where to go with that.
I would hope you do it in your salty voice.
Maybe like
sultry.
Maybe
voice.
like you like art museum, you like click the button, it tells you like the description about the painting. Yeah. Maybe like they need that now for documentaries for people that don't want to read stuff. Yeah.
I'm an idiot. Not for anything else I said way before that, but. I'll just put it on. I'll put it on blind mode, my TV, and it'll read off the words for me.
Oh, they have that.
Why did I think of this before?
Oh my God.
Yes, technology wins again. Fuck you, reading. Eat it.
All right. Well, now I think this is a perfect. We just keep segueing into different things.
We are.
Here's a very popular one.
Yes.
We're talking about documentaries, talking about docuseries. It's inevitable, right? Welcome to Wrexham.
Yes.
Welcome to Wrexham. I think we can all agree, and this might be the first thing we all three of us in this room, the We Are Soccer Studio, have agreed on. Welcome to Wrexham is absolutely magnificent. I think we're all enthralled with this show.
Yes.
Rob McElhenney, Ryan Reynolds, what a job they've done in putting this series together. It is absolutely phenomenal. I love the fact that it's not so much about football and soccer. It's not so much about them. It's about the fans. It's about documenting the fans and their passion and their pride for the team and the local community. It brings it all together. What a stunning docuseries. I am enthralled with it. I'm watching it with my son. I've only completed episode 6, so because I am watching with him, I don't want to skip ahead and watch episodes without him. We don't have a ton of time to watch them, but we watched another one the other day, and man, oh man, even my 9-year-old son loves this show, and it's able for me to I'm using it to teach him about the sport and the fandom and the passion that fans around the world have for their club, which is a discussion we can get into it a little bit later. But for now, we'll stick with this. I know you boys love this show too, right?
I can't get enough. I love it. I absolutely love it. And what's nice is it's different. This is why I like Sunderland Until I Die, because it's different. It's not a big club. It gives you a different perspective. It's not just about look at this coach that I've seen and with some of these all or nothings. It's different. And I think that's even what we were talking about earlier when we were all talking about, hey, they should do this or they should do that. Is doing something different gives you an element of additional entertainment, and that I think is something there. And I honestly I recommend this one, and even Sunderland Until I Die. Not to go off on that one, but those two, to me, it's not so much about the game. It's more about like sports management or even running things or the things they get into. So it's a very unique perspective on what they're showing and how they're showing it, and I think it's seen from a different angle that normally you wouldn't see it in other docuseries, like similar docuseries.
Yeah, no, it's been brilliant. I mean, I watched episodes 1 through 9 in one day. Like, I think we were all texting about it. I started to watch it because I I subscribed back to Hulu, and it was great. I mean, it's like Nate said, it takes you. People see the coaching stuff, they see the players, they see the big money gets spent. Mm-hmm. You even see it in all or nothing though. You see the side of the game, the management operations side that people don't understand how hectic it can be, how much money it can cost, and
little things that go in. Yeah.
Yes, they don't. People don't understand very much about. They don't understand, and again, someone from that has worked for some teams and kind of has understood the pressure and things that have to get done and things that may get pushed aside for something else within a club. You only have so much at that club that doesn't even play in professional soccer league, that plays in the league just below the pros, to try to spend enough money where you're not killing your budget and they're not losing super enormous amounts of money to get that team into pro soccer, then to make the money back, most of it back, but to also take a club that I had no clue because, and that's the one thing different for me why I like watching these docu-series on Sunderland or Wrexham or I don't know the history of all these English. Sure. I watched what was it, the one documentary on the FA Cup, the English game or whatever on Netflix.
Yeah,
whatever you give or take. Some of them may find it corny or whatever, but I knew the FA Cup was a big thing. I didn't know it went back to that, and it was mostly for the rich, and then the mills and the factory workers got into it. That was a great series,
and that was one that husbands and wives could sit down and watch together because it's not so much about the sports, about the history, and there was some stories behind it that would kind of dramatize, but it was very good as well. Yes,
but Wrexham just has this enormous history with it, and being the last or the oldest international stadium in the United Kingdom, or in Wales or the world or whatever.
I think it's in the UK.
The UK, and the history of that stadium, and then when it gets transferred to someone with new ownership, and people don't understand when people take things over and how difficult it is to get them back for the fans, and then how decrepit it became, and then what Ryan Reynolds and McElhenney have done to rejuvenate the town and the stadium, and how that the town goes with the team and the energy. That's not in America. We lose in America. The Lions could suck every year, and so could the Tigers and the Pistons and the Red Wings, and they're still in the same league, and nothing changes. But when a team in a small town, and this is where Wrexham is, just everyone they keep losing and get relegated, it just crushes the town.
Right.
It's amazing, and I think everyone in America should watch this and really be thankful for the sports teams they have, because I don't think they're very thankful for that. And if we have relegation here, how crappy would Detroit sports be?
The Detroit Lions would be playing high school football right now.
Yes, and the Tigers might still be down in AAA trying to get their asses out of there after the early 2000s. So,
I like this docuseries for several pieces. Obviously, it's soccer, right? And it's actors and a famous movie star that we all know. And it's lower level soccer. We all love that as well. But one of the other things it does is explains things. It explains promotion and relegation to the average American fan who might not know or understand what's going on there. It explains the history, and it shows the passion behind these clubs and how the fans really support it. I think we, as I said, we can all agree, we all love Welcome to Wrexham. It's great. The shirts are impossible to buy right now, by the way. They are on back order. You're going to pay $200 to $300 for a Wrexham jersey, this year's version. So if you want one, order it now. You might get it next year if you're lucky. They need to make more. They're making money.
Rob McElhenney when they took over the team, he Philadelphia Eagles green for the first away one.
I thought that was great.
As a huge Eagles fan, I love that. Was funny. I just
that was great. It does. The funny thing is, we put a question up this week on the We Are Soccer Facebook group. One question go. And one of the friends of our show, Mr. Holy Diver, Chris Rosen, asked, what's the romanticism behind supporting one club? Are you allowed to support other clubs?
Oh, boy.
I didn't mind the question. One person may have not liked the question, but here's the way I think he was meaning to ask it. If you have one club you support, are you allowed to support other clubs? I personally, I'm a huge Aston Villa fan. That's my thing, right? Do I support another Premiership club? No. Do I enjoy watching another Premiership club over others? Yeah, there's one or two I prefer to watch. I like the way they play, their style, or some of their players. Absolutely. I'm a huge Detroit City FC supporter. I'm a Wrexham fan now after watching the docuseries. There's a few other clubs around the world that I enjoy watching here and there. It is okay to support several teams. It's okay to, in my opinion, support whoever you want to support. But this is what I tell American fans all the time who are just getting into this game. They're like, I've met a whole bunch of people. Yeah, I love watching the Premiership. It's great. I don't know. I don't really have a team. Here's my advice. Pick a team. Pick one team. Fall in love with that team and make them your team. And you will. You will easily find a team. You'll like the colors. You'll like the history of the club. You'll like where they're located at. You'll love the rivalries they have. Pick a team. Follow that team. But it is okay to support other teams here and there. Don't support multiple teams in the same league. That's probably not a good idea. Support an English Premier League team. Go ahead and support Barcelona because you love the colors and you love the history and whatever. I know a lot of people now who are Everton fans because Tim Howard was there. I know a lot of people who are Fulham fans because Clint Dempsey was there. Don't pick a team because one player's there because that player will leave at some point. I am going to open this up. I'm hoping he doesn't go on an epic rant, and I hope I explained it well, but here we go. Nate, fire away.
No.
You're not allowed to support more than one club?
You really want me to go?
Mildly.
Okay. What is the definition of a supporter, a club supporter? Stop, I'll tell you. A person who supports a particular football team. That's not my definition. I just pulled it from the dictionary. Not mine.
You can read?
I can. I lied.
I thought you lying earlier.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, that is not Nate's definition. That's not Nate pulled it up. That's Nate Googled. That's what Google came. You support a particular soccer team.
Yes.
It is the most American thing in the world to flip and flop and go, oh, I'm going to go this team. I like this guy, so I'm going to. No. You support a particular team. You just named. Does that mean that I can't watch DCFC if I'm a Stuttgart? No, that's not what I'm saying. Does it mean I can't watch United? Does it mean I can't watch Stuttgart and appreciate it? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day and at the end of the line, if United's playing Stuttgart, who are you rooting for? And if you say, well, I just want a good game, it'd be great if both teams win, that's the most vanilla frosting thing I've ever heard in my entire life, and I'm going to smack you in the head. Okay? You support a team. What is that team? And it's okay. You can support a team for various reasons. You don't even have to have a logical reason. I support Stuttgart for a very logical reason because I lived in Germany. I was asked for guys I played with in Germany. Why do you support our shitty team? You could go support anyone else. You could like Dortmund or this or that. I said, well, because I live in Stuttgart, guys. Before that, I used to, and I still am, I am a United supporter. Now, Nate, sounds like you're saying the same thing here. Sounds like you're splitting the baby with the bathwater. No, I'm not. Because at the end of the day, in a Champions League matchup, if United and Stuttgart in the final, guess what? Let's go Stuttgart, F you United. There you go. I said it. Sorry, Red Devils, guys. But that's where my heart lies because I lived there, because I was with that culture. I am a Stuttgart supporter. Full stop, end. If there's multiple matches on the team, you have to pick one. We'll do it. We'll do a little, just, Craig, let's say all the DVRs broke. They're all dead. Technology doesn't exist. You have to watch one team. You just named off Villa, DCFC, and what else did I zoned out there for half the second? Whatever other team. You have to pick one.
Yeah,
you have
Villa.
to pick one.
It's
Not,
Villa.
I can just watch it on the recording later. No, you have to pick one. Which one's it going to be?
We go Aston Villa, obviously.
Exactly. So you are a
Very
Villa,
similar.
and that's what I mean. When you say that, it doesn't mean you can't watch DCFC. That's load of
or
crap.
can be a fan of them, right?
Yes, and you can be a fan of it. And, you can even watch a team you don't like, and just because you like how they play and be a fan of it, or a player that plays on a team you don't like and be a fan of that player. That's not what we're talking about here. And people who are true supporters, and maybe it's a cultural thing. That's what it is. And
100% is a cultural thing.
I hate to talk
Absolutely.
down. I'm not trying to talk down to people, but it's a cultural thing. And we don't have that type of culture here in the States. We just don't. And especially if you live in Michigan, where you don't have an MLS team. And it's hard, so you back like DCFC or something like that, which is nothing wrong with that, but it's hard to have that type of mentality, I think, as an American living around here, because it just doesn't exist. It's just because it's not natural. So you got weirdos like me and maybe Craig and sometimes Brooks with Portland that are like that. So I understand, and so I'm not trying to talk down to people, not trying to, say, talk myself. But it's just thing. It's a cultural thing. You'll watch it. You'll walk into people like, hey, why do you support this like obscure Albanian team I've never heard of? Because I grew up there. My dad grew up there. That's why. It's a cultural thing, and some people adopt a culture. Some people jump into it. But that's the thing, and it's not about it. There's it. So no, you can't. You just can't. If you talk to any real supporter, especially anyone outside the U.S., they'll tell you, no, you can't. You can change you can change your wife, you can change your family, but you can't change the club you support in, right? Eric can't now. So
100%.
you can't do it.
You can be a fan of other clubs.
It's not even a romanticism. That's a wrong way to put it. It's a cultural difference.
Yep.
Period.
Brooks, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts, because you don't specifically have an EPL team that you root for, but you enjoy watching several of them.
I do. It's weird. So, for me, so I guess for my history is, I grew up in Pennsylvania and I moved to Michigan when I was young, and I had friends that supported certain universities, and sometimes because I hang out with them, that's what I would root for.
Sure.
And then when I got older, I was like, okay, I kind of know what I like, and then in America it's very different. I think when you go to a certain college, that's who you're rooting for and supporting, right? If you go to a U of M or an MSU, it's very much like that. It's in America though. It's with pro teams, everyone jumps ship all the time. I think you nailed it right there. Yeah. You nailed it with the college reference. Because there are people who will only support Michigan, and they don't even have to go there. Exactly. Right? Or Michigan. You see it all the time. Yeah. It's the same thing. Yeah. It's the same type of loyalty. Yeah. It doesn't mean that you won't watch the National College Football Final. Exactly. That's not what we're saying. Yep. We're saying if it's Michigan State, you're watching that no matter what. They could be shit in the bed for the whole year. You're still going to watch them. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's you see it in college. You do not see it in pro-American sports. Kurt has Rochester Rhino loyalty, and I just made a friend with VJ by bringing up Albania. Go ahead, sorry. But for me, with pro sports...
Hi, VJ.
I think you talk about the 50s, 60s, 70s when people were very loyal with MLB teams and... Yeah. They were extremely loyal with Major League Baseball. It's very much changed now. It's who spends the most money and brings all the top players in? I hate the New York Yankees and the LA Dodgers. I cannot stand them. I love the Boston Red Sox because I love their history. I did not live in Boston, but I enjoy their history, and that's a team I do support in Major League Baseball. But Americans love to jump around in pro sports. College, high school, I think they're very loyal to because they have something tied and intertwined with them.
There's emotional attachment.
Yes. We don't have that a lot of the times with pro sports anymore. I mean, everyone loves the Lions, I guess, because they're losers and they're lovable. But, in some with the Tigers, I know some people that just love the Tigers no matter what. But we don't have that anymore. It's nothing like Europe. Yeah. And I wish, besides DCFC and some other maybe soccer clubs around the country, I wish we had more of that. Especially, I love Europe because it's small towns. This is where you grew up. I'm always going to support this team. they popped up on one side of London. This was my club because they gave our side of London something special. Like, we don't have that tie and memory and loyalty. What some people do for baseball, but nothing for other sports.
So 2 things just occurred in my little brain.
Yeah.
That's not very smart. It could be the fact that we don't have the pro rel, and subconsciously we all know that. So there's not much on the line.
Yeah.
Like you said, the Detroit Lions could be the shits of the shits, and guess what? It is what it is.
Yeah.
So there's a lack of, it's just monies, right? Yeah. The other thing is America does have a culture, a bit of, you don't sit around. We're explorers. We travel. We spread out throughout the U.S. It's very, very huge. And I wonder if that jumping around, also just being ingrained in our culture, that kind of transfers over to maybe sports teams.
Possibly.
I think it does.
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you're in Michigan. Oh, I got a job in California. Oh, these people I know are LAFC fans, and I'm no longer I like DCFC. Now
but you just have a general culture of doing that. People moving around or spreading throughout a vast.
Is that not how Europe is? Are you very much in your hometown? I mean, I mean, I have relatives.
Some
I had
of it
relatives.
just depends.
People move around, but once you've pledged your allegiance to a club, that's it. You're done. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no jumping. As Nate said earlier, the old saying goes: you can change your wife, you can change your family, but you can't change your football club.
Yeah.
I mean, once you've pledged your allegiance, and that's it. You're done. I mean, you don't jump ship. But it is okay to like and be a fan of a lower level team, and that's what most people do. Most people, in England, have a Premiership team that they support and they follow, but then they'll have the local team they go and watch occasionally. Yeah. But if it comes down to it, they go watch the number one team that they pledged their allegiance to.
Yes.
And as I said earlier, Villa's mine, so they're on TV. I'm watching them.
I have never really pledged an allegiance to. I would say. I mean, do I like Dortmund? But I think I started watching them mostly because Pulisic went there.
Sure.
I wouldn't say I have not pledged an allegiance to a professional club besides the Timbers, who I've worked for, because there's meaning there.
Paycheck.
You know what I mean?
A paycheck.
Those are always good, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
But there's something for me where there's something. I have a tie to Portland.
Well, no matter who you support them right. And if you're looking for a jersey, head over to Soccer World. They've probably got the jersey you're looking for. We here at We Are Soccer, as Brooks holds up his Tanzania jersey.
Yes.
We here at We Are Soccer may be heading up to Soccer World for some new jerseys, especially the new World Cup jerseys that have hit, as we all support several teams who are playing there. I do want to jump on something you said earlier, Brooks. It depends on if you go to Michigan and Michigan State. Well, guess what? Those two teams are playing this week at DeMartin Stadium. 6 p.m. kickoff Tuesday. Let me find my... Michigan State is 2-4-2, while U of M, the University of Michigan, is 3-4-2. So both teams, men's teams that is, having sort of a down year at the moment. Hopefully this win for one of them can spur them on.
Both are coming off good results. So
both having good results.
1-1 draw at IU for Michigan State, which is very difficult to win in Bloomington with that program. Yep. And then Michigan beating Northwestern 3-1 in Northwestern. So
that's also a tough place to go and play at Northwestern.
Especially on a cold, windy day when you're right on the lake.
Ooh, I've done that. I did that two or three times, at Northwestern with the wind coming off there. Yes. So that is at DeMartin Stadium, Tuesday, 6 p.m. kickoff. They're going to have a DJ there at 4 o'clock with the gates open and some food and stuff. So if you're in the East Lansing area and looking for a good game, men's soccer, hit that up. That should be fun. You can also purchase some of those jerseys that they have. Two of us in this room went to Michigan State and support that team. Go ahead.
I don't read.
He does not read. Are you looking to go to a school because Michigan State will probably accept you?
What's funny is I got a master's degree too.
Good God! Oh my!
What's funny is I'm the highest educated person sitting in this chair in this room right now.
Yeah.
Clown college doesn't count.
It doesn't?
No.
Oh, me.
No. All right, we got a lot of other stuff to talk about here. Our local squad, Detroit City FC, played last night at home at Keyworth. What a game. 0-0 at time. Both teams missing a handful of chances. Detroit City FC had a chance to really go ahead and win and put some space between them and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and unfortunately ended up with a 2-2 draw. Nate, you were at the game, were you not?
Yeah, so that 0-0 at half was there was several chances that might have been onside, maybe not, that should have, would have, could have been goals. And
regardless, they had a handful of chances even from regular play that weren't called back that Detroit City could have put in, right?
Yeah, and yeah, so it was I thought it was a good match. You know what? My boy, my guy, my number one hero, or the guy I've been rooting for.
Who's your guy?
Foster. Oh. No, that's my daughter's. Richard Foster, actually second start in a row. Yeah, I really liked what they were doing with him, where he was just kind of playing, a bit of a wing back position, but then could drop in when needed. Mm-hmm. I get it. It's not DCFC doesn't have a lot of sexy, flashy football play, but I like the strong defensive play that they do. Anywho, he had a really good game. I had assists and created the most chances in the match with 3 of them. That was, and one of those offside goals could have been another second assist. Bryant, who is my daughter's favorite.
Michael, yes.
Yes.
From California.
Completed the most passes in the match with 54, and also had the corner goal. So she wasn't at the match. I had to text her. She was at a camping trip, and she was like, "Yay, mustache guy." So, Tulsa, the game changed a bit when they made those subs. They made some subs, and they had some players come in, younger players that came in and kind of changed the game a little bit, and had those 2 goals in very, very quick succession. Just kind of caught them, the Suarez and Bird.
Disappointing for Detroit City.
Yeah.
Once they got that 2-1 lead, not to go and really push. And I felt like defensively, Detroit City gave up 2.
It was 2
sloppy goals.
2 sloppy goals in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they ironed it out, and then they came back. So I don't, and that they just had a gaffe, a moment, a slip between Lewis Carroll and Bryant there, and it. To me, it's uncanny because when I watched them play throughout the whole time, that back line, that whole first half, they never really looked in danger at all.
Yeah.
Like it was fine. And even like then when they made those 3 subs, those other players came in and it changed a bit, and then there was that moment of a good couple minutes of uncertainty, and then they came back and got it and finished it out. But it was a solid match. I'm confident. I like their chances in playoffs.
Yeah,
I really do.
I really hope we can get a home playoff match here.
We'll see, but even if we don't,
Are they doing 34 games? I think it's 17. They have 34.
I think so.
Games.
I believe so.
Yeah, they got a couple more.
You look at the table. I mean, DCFC they played 31, so they have 3 games left. Everyone above them, besides Memphis and Tampa, have 4 games left. Everyone else has 3, and they're only 2 points below Pittsburgh, and they're 4 points below Legion. So there's a lot that can happen if they win out the last 3.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that can happen.
It'd be nice, but I think it still would be exciting if they get a chance to get a chance to their just playing the playoffs, and I think they can do well. I mean, I think that defense can do wonders, and will be interesting to see down the stretch.
All right, 2 other quick pieces I'd like to chat about. We are going to do a quick 5-minute MLS roundup in a little bit here, but 2 other things before we get there. This past weekend, Arsenal versus Tottenham was played in the WSL Women's Soccer League. The North London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur has smashed the Women's Super League, which is played in England, for the attendance record at the Emirates Stadium on Saturday. I've heard 2 numbers here. I've heard a record crowd of 47,000, and I've also heard a record crowd of 54,000. So it's somewhere between 47 and 54, but either way, that is a record for the Women's Super League, which is in England. And in that game, Arsenal beat Spurs 4-0, thanks to a Viviana Medema brace and goals from Beth Mead and Raphael. So anyway, the sport is growing in England on the women's side. big numbers there for that. The other little piece I'd like to talk about was both of the GOATs were in action this weekend, and both got roughed up a little bit. Messi took a shoulder to the face, which caused quite a delay. About a 2-minute delay in that game. He had the ball, he tried to turn, and a Honduras defender ran through him, hit him in the face with his shoulder. Every single Argentina player ran and confronted this player because you could see how important Messi is to the Argentinian team, and they did not like that this Honduras player was roughing him up. He was okay. He got up and played on, no big deal. Scored a hell of a chip in that game and had a hell of an assist, and then also put away a penalty. So 2 goals and an assist for Messi. The other GOAT, as a lot of people refer to him, Ronaldo, looked like he pretty much broke his nose. He was offsides. The ball was floated in. He went up to head the ball. The goalie came out to punch it. You can see what happened next, where hands, face, blood everywhere. He was okay. He played on. Big cut on his nose. But both the GOATs, Messi and Ronaldo, roughed up this weekend in friendlies before the World Cup. I think this is now be the second week in a row we have pushed off this discussion of who is the GOATs of this time, Ronaldo, we or Messi. We can go on forever. We all got a lot of thoughts on that, but
only those two. We're not going to put
no,
in more.
I think it's right now for where we are in the world. A lot of people consider those two to be where it's at, but obviously, if you could throw a lot of other players in there, right?
Yeah, Ibrahimovic sucks.
The original Ronaldo. But you could throw a lot of others in there.
Zlatan.
Yeah.
Zlatan is a GOAT, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I do want to say the EPL and the Bundesliga return October 1st and October 2nd. 2 big games in the EPL that are happening next weekend: Man City and Man United. The big Manchester derby there, and Arsenal versus Tottenham. The men's will be playing, so some big derbies there. I don't know if we're going to do Bundesliga chat time at the moment because really there's nothing to talk about. All those players are in.
Stuttgart didn't lose.
Stuttgart didn't lose. Neither did Villa, so
Hey!
Villa
And good night.
We do want to have a quick MLS roundup, though, as the MLS has been going on. We will make it very quick. Well, let's put the table up.
Yeah.
Where is our MLS table?
So the East
Hi,
hasn't
Brooks.
changed. We haven't changed in the East. There's still the same 3 eliminated teams, and
Yep.
no one else has clinched a playoff spot. And then in the West, we have 4 teams in the elimination. So we had San Jose, Houston, and Kansas City. Colorado has the 4th team that has joined the elimination team in the Western Conference. And wow, I don't think I saw that coming, because I think on our MLS preview we did back in the spring, I thought they would at least make the playoffs. So, oh boy.
Yep.
Yes, how mighty the parity is in MLS.
Parity reigns in the MLS, as we know.
Yes. So, only 2 games, only 1 game in MLS this week, which was San Jose and the LA Galaxy, which the LA Galaxy took that 3-2. We had a League Cup, which is the competition between MLS and La Liga. FC Cincy winning 3-1 against Chivas. Nashville winning on PKs. It was 3-3. I think they won 5-2 on PKs, if I'm not mistaken, or 5-3 against Club America. And RSL losing to Atlas, which everything was interesting that it was all in America that these games were played. No one had to go down to Mexico. So I'm curious how this is going to be in the future, if it's always going to be in America and at the MLS stadiums rather than the MLS teams traveling down to Mexico. This is interesting. Maybe it's a ploy for that. Maybe Liga MX and MLS join together at some point in the future.
So is there any games coming up in the next week here, Brooks, that we should be aware of?
Yes. You have a great matchup. Boy, I never thought a great matchup for this one. Tuesday, September 27th, we have Seattle versus FC Cincy. FC Cincy looking to clear up to get into the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. Seattle's still fighting for a playoff spot. They sit in 10th right now, 39 points with 3 games left, so that's going to be an interesting one for next week. We have a few ones. Miami probably needs to beat TFC here to stay alive in the Eastern Conference. That's Friday night, the only one on Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Yes, and then we have a whole slate of games on Saturday, October 1st. And there's some interesting ones here. We have Columbus, New York, Red Bull. Columbus is at home looking for a result against Red Bull. That's going to be very important. If they slip up there at home, that puts them in danger zone of possibly not making the MLS Cup playoffs.
Would they be on a highway
Will they be on a highway?
to the danger zone?
Kenny Loggins. Good job. I do like Top Gun as well. Yes. So, yes, and then Sunday, a couple matchups. Portland, LAFC will be a good one. Timbers looking to climb the table a little more in the Western Conference. That's at 3 p.m. on ABC. And then must-win game for Seattle on Sunday. They go to Sporting Kansas City to see if they can keep their playoff hopes alive and their streak alive. So some interesting matchups. Obviously, NYCFC Orlando at 1 p.m. on Sunday will be an interesting one as well. But it's just kind of time for some of these teams to create more separation between the ones that will make the playoffs and the ones that won't. So
Absolutely. So teams getting ready to finish up the season here. A lot of them preparing for the playoffs, and a lot of them been eliminated already.
yes.
But parity reigns in the MLS as it normally does. And the MLS is one of the only leagues right now, top leagues in the world, that's playing with everybody else on pause due to this international break, which will continue this week, as we've talked about earlier. So thank you, Brooks. Thank you for a good MLS roundup. And it was short, but not much going on due to international stuff, as we spoke about.
Nope.
One thing I think we've had a discussion about as a group before, and maybe we'll talk about it, touch on it here. We've mentioned several lower division teams. We've mentioned several supporters groups. One of the things that kind of, I don't want to say bothers me, but bewilders me a little bit here in the U.S., supporters groups who think that they have to do something in the community or have to do other things other than support the club and have to be recognized. I personally don't get it. That's not my thing. I know a bunch of supporters groups here in the Detroit area and around the country that they support their club. They do what they have fun doing it, but it's not about the soccer. It's not about the actual action on the field. That just bothers me. I am part of several supporters groups, and I think it's great the things they do for the community and give back to the community and whatever. But when I go to a game to watch a game and be part of a supporters group, I don't need to be doing whatever it is, or donating money, or giving my time to this. I'm there for the club. I'm there for the game. I want to watch the game. It really bothers me that a lot of people go to these games and be part of these groups and don't actually watch the game and couldn't tell you anything about the game or the sport in general. Does that, Nate? I really want your take on this, because I know you've lived in Germany. You've been around Europe. Are you on the same wavelength as I am on this?
Can I get a specific example?
No. I'm not calling anybody out, but I know a lot of people who
is there
don't know shit about the actual game.
Is there a group, or is there what's chapped Craig's chops at 10:51 p.m.? Is it just in general? All right, so
no, but you know what I'm saying, right? They enjoy being part of a group. They enjoy being part of this.
So they want to be part of the social club.
Yeah, it's a social club, but they feel like they have to give back, but they don't. They don't have to do anything but just support the team and go to the game and watch the game. But for some reason, supporters groups here think they've got to do more than that. And so, I do want to say, before I let you go and explain your point of view, that this isn't just like a local thing here, because I know a lot of supporters groups that get together to support Premiership teams, and they get together and they think they have to donate money or do a cause or give to this or give to that, and it becomes less about the game and less about the actual team on the field. So it's not just local, it's not just smaller division teams.
So, it's funny, I was watching a clip. This guy was talking to maybe some Qatarian people about, their stance, certain political/religious stance about certain group and culture. And he said, and the thing I agree with, he said, hey, you guys are wrong. The game is for everyone. And I think, yes, he's right. The game is for everyone. It is not me to tell you how you should enjoy said game. However, it's not for you to tell me how I should enjoy said game as well. So, I do have a bee in my bonnet, if you will, for certain people who know nothing about nothing, but then want to tell people how they should or need to, or what they should or need to be doing when they're at a game. And that I take an issue with as well. You want to be a social club? That's not me. It's not my thing. I'm not interested into it. Some of the supporters groups around, they do charitable work, but it's usually subsets. But when you're at the game, you're for the game. And, it just depends. So I don't really have an issue, and I don't think you do with, with charity or doing things, but it's got to be at your own will and desire to do so. Otherwise, you're just being forced into something because of the masses. As far as when you go to a game, yeah, you should be there to watch a game. You should be there to...
Does it feel that... Do you know of supporters groups in Europe that get together and do other things for the community, like their main basis is not about the team on the field, they're using
there's always a connection.
It's mostly about the game. When you get together, from my experience, you get together in a supporters group, the number one conversation is about the players on the field, who's in the starting lineup, how we've done in the previous games, who we're playing today, the run-in that we have coming up. It's never about, oh, hey, let's all get together. Oh, we got a game today? Great. Back burner. We're talking about putting a charity donation together or doing a walk. No. So it's here in this country in America, it seems to be focused around everything else but the game, which drives me crazy.
The supporters groups, you're there to watch the game, you're there to go to the game. Yeah, it's always like I said, a subset of that, and that's what I mean. It's a subset of what they do, and it's so sub that it's kind of like, here's the message, and then it's not really talked about. You know what I mean? And they might have a couple people who run with it, but it's not the main focus. And the main focus is what you're there to do is just support the team, support the game, and support the activities and the players of that game.
I think it speaks a lot to why are the supporters so focused on this, while the club should be more of the one in charge of community engagement.
And then that's the other thing. The club has community engagement people.
But they don't do enough, apparently, and they let the supporters do it, and then that's how it gets like this, to be honest with you. Like, listen,
so now you're going into specifics. I mean, like in Europe, the clubs have people who they pay for community engagement.
Correct, to put these things, these charities and donations together.
They might dab into supporters groups for help or to send it to them.
Correct, but I've always had an issue with pro sports in America where it's the players that set up these charities and everything. The pro teams, like the Lions go do something downtown, like, for Detroit Pal or whatever, like, the players have to show up or whatever. The Tigers have their little thing. They let the little kids come in for, like, day at the park or whatever on an off day or whatever. Like, and then they donate money for a building or whatever. But, like, it's different. Like, you have clubs in England and Europe building pitches around, like 5v5 small-sided pitches to, like, help the community and whatnot. And, like, they do that for some of the sports, but not enough. I think the community engagement person in some clubs, like, it's an overblown position almost for some things, to be honest with you. And then let the supporters take care of it. Well, like, that's not their job. I mean, they can be involved, and that's great that they want to do it, but it gets crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, we can go on about this all day, but in Europe, we've all seen the fans out there in the groups and whatever, but you don't see it.
I don't think you want some of those fans organizing a charity thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole different culture.
Normally, you don't ask the ultras to do a soup luncheon.
I mean, listen, I love charities, but American stuff gets on the bandwagon of we need to do everything we can, but it's all for then tax purposes about, I donate money so I can save money, and you know what I mean? I mean, this is my finance side for me talking about it, like, this is why we do it. Like, okay, are you doing it out of the kindness of your heart, or you want to deduct taxes or deduct money from your taxes in April?
Are you telling me that a business has an ulterior motive for doing charity and goodwill?
I know,
Brooks,
right?
shame on you. That would never.
No,
they would never do any
terrible,
of that.
Brooks. Terrible.
All right, boys. We could go on all day about this, and there's a lot of other finer point details we could go into it. But I think that's going to wrap us up this week. We appreciate everybody watching. Thank you, everybody, for watching, for sharing, for liking. Please do us a huge favor. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and share. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitter. We are on all the social networks. Give us some love. Also on Spotify and podcast. Spotify and Apple, our podcast on those channels. If you could, give us a thumbs up. Give us a quick review, even if it's bad. Tell us what you think. Yes, we have audio issues. I apologize. That's on me. We've done extensive testing. We will do more. Again, I apologize for the audio issues. But that will wrap us up for this week. So from the boys at the kids' table,
Bruce,
and from me, we're out.